Walker Lott here with TXPS Media. I'm here with Coach Beck from Fort Worth All Saints. Firstly, how's TAPPSCON been for you? Seeing people around the state. How is it just being here?
Man, it's always fun. The Prudhomme brothers I've known for a long, long time. Yep. Joe and I eat lunch together at least once a month.
Absolutely.
And, watching him in the run he put together at Nolan Catholic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, talk to me.
It's good to be here, man, because we got to go back.
Let's go
back.
I
started at Nolan in 1985.
Okay.
And so what Joe created at Nolan,
right,
in his timeline, I think is one of the – and Dan's got it going on right now too.
Yep.
Props to Dan.
Yes.
But Joe won how many state championships?
Whew, too many.
Without winning district.
Really? That's interesting.
So Joe won – I'm going to miss this, Joe. I apologize if I miss about one or two. Joe won 7 I know of.
Gotcha.
And only won district once.
Wow.
So you want to talk about last man standing and being consistent and being tough. Now, here's the other prop I'll give him back in that day. He had the biggest 7-on-7 tournament.
Oh, yeah.
With public. Everybody came.
I grew up going to the Nolan
Nobody
Catholic
got
tournament.
mad.
No, absolutely not.
No, they weren't worried about Joe.
No.
Joe took that Catholic feeder system.
Yes.
And, Steve, his brother, helped too as EAD.
Yeah.
But I think that I was always real impressed with what he did way back in the day. So
Absolutely.
That's a long answer to a real easy question.
Yeah.
But, man, there's so many watching where the game has gotten to today.
Absolutely.
And I'm not ready to make the announcement yet, but we'll see what Joe's doing in the fall.
Okay, we'll stay tuned.
Yeah, we'll see what's going on there.
All right. And speaking of how the game has changed, one of the things you did this morning or a couple hours ago was talking about the NIL thing about college football and high school football especially. You don't have to do the whole spiel, but kind of for the people that weren't able to be here in person, kind of what are your thoughts and kind of what you should share kind of for the next couple of years look like for NIL and high school football, especially in Texas?
I think it's really important if you're in a leadership role in your school, athletic director, head coach, whatever that might be,
right,
is that you educate yourself on NIL, because when I was approached 3 years ago to get involved, I didn't know anything about it. The only thing NIL was to me was the kid from South Lake who Ohio State bought a year out and making $1 million, and I thought that didn't apply to but 0.000% of the folks. Well, what I've learned is on the collective side in NIL, that's yours.
Yes.
For the 95% of the rest of us, name, image, and likeness, which
Absolutely.
we own.
Yes.
The sky is the limit on what you can create.
Absolutely.
And so when I started 3 years ago, only 6 schools in the United States was a student athlete eligible to activate their NIL.
Right.
Today we're at 38. And Florida just signed on 3 days ago. So it's not if but when it will come. And
right.
If you are in charge of an athletic department,
right,
you want to control your narrative.
Absolutely.
So I don't want to roll out 24 months and my quarterback comes in and says, "Can't come to practice today. I got to go to Chick-fil-A." To do an ad spot.
Right.
So we're doing some things at All Saints that, number one, it's an elective class.
Right. I remember you telling me that.
It's not just for athletes. It's for everybody. I've got as many fine arts kids and NARPs in there as athletic kids.
Right.
And so it's just been a ton of fun. And being partnered with TCU,
Neely
School of Business, that
awesome.
lends instant credibility.
Right.
Because of the curriculum we've created, TCU made it a certificate program.
Yeah.
So it's continuing ed.
That's really cool.
And, man, it's for a guy like me this fall, it's still kind of hard to believe it will be year 39.
Wow.
That, man, I'm having a blast, having a ton of fun. And
just terrorizing all of Fort Worth, huh?
It's, hey, we're okay. Nobody's feeling sorry for us, but, man, we want to be better too, right?
Absolutely.
We want to, and independent school, TCU, what tuition costs today,
Whew.
You better show an ROI.
Oh, absolutely.
Return on your investment.
Absolutely.
And so, that's kind of.
I went to business school. I know the
hey,
terms.
and maybe grad school here pretty quick.
Grad school, hopefully soon.
August graduation.
Thank you.
We're all so proud.
Thank you. It's actually been awesome to have you in my corner and for the media's corner, TXPS
Oh,
Media's
man,
corner
I love you.
beginning.
We love you guys.
Absolutely.
Our booster club loves you guys. Holy cow.
They love us.
Man.
And actually for the retreat this summer, they're actually
you going to let them do that?
They're letting, yeah.
You gonna let them bring the pit out?
They want to bring the pit out.
Oh man!
I mean, why wouldn't we?
Why wouldn't you?
Absolutely.
No joke.
It's gonna be a good time. So stay tuned. Anyone's listening for that. I was talking to someone else about your NIL thing. There's supposed to be like a small meeting, like later, sometime soon, about like a 2-day course or something.
Well,
like
that's
that.
the certificate program at TCU. So we schedule those based on enrollment,
right?
But we keep it small.
Okay.
So, and the beauty of that is you've got access to these 8 professors that wrote this program for Gary Patterson.
Wow.
Coach Patterson before he
course.
left, and Coach Dykes picked up and ran with it as well. And it's just curriculum that we created for high school kids and high school coaches and parents.
Right.
That it's beyond a 2-day education.
Yeah, absolutely.
It really is.
If there are coaches out there, is there a way we can, if coaches are listening to this, is there a place that they can go reach out and see, like, to go look into it?
Really, right now, the easiest way to find the schedule for that class is to email me.
Okay.
That's the easiest way to do it.
You'll find it. You'll find his email, and we'll probably put it in the caption down below.
There you go.
But a couple other fun questions is I want to talk. You'll have a great list for this. We've been asking everyone, what is like your Mount Rushmore of the best guys you've ever seen play high school football? And you're gonna have a good list, and a couple of them probably are at your own school, but you know.
Are we talking coaching or playing or?
You could do both.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So I graduated from LD Bell in 1980, and that's back when only one team made it.
Yeah.
Right, and so it was Bell or Trinity every year.
Yep.
This is before the awesome Pacific Island community moved into Euless.
Yes,
so it's back when
yeah.
my Blue Raiders we could beat LD Bell. And my junior year, I spent a Saturday afternoon at the old Texas Stadium chasing Herky Walls.
Wow.
And so he was an unbelievable player. The head football coach, you know, for me, when I look at teammates that left an impression on me, so Keith Burns is a year older than me, and Keith is the head coach at Country Day.
Okay.
So Keith played at Arkansas, became the defensive coordinator at Arkansas, head coach at Tulsa. He was coaching at UTEP, and he called me. He goes, "Hey, I'm ready to come home. I got some buddies back in the Metroplex, and they're talking to me about coming to coach at Country Day. What can you tell me?" And I said, "Oh, dude, you'll love it. You know."
Oh, yeah.
And he's been great for that school. Keith is he was an unbelievable safety back in our timeline. But man, that's a huge question, because when you go back in my high school days, you're talking about Earl Campbell and a lot of dudes. When you dip into the private school piece,
let's kind of talk, I guess, now coaching wise.
Now I'm going to be a huge
names for, you know.
I'm going to be a huge homer here.
Of course, as you should.
Two of the best natural athletes.
Okay.
And they both coach for me right now. They're twin brothers.
Oh, yeah.
When I was the head football coach at ESD, Tristan and Trenton Wesson were our best football, basketball, baseball, track, make up other sports. Well, if there was a ball, they were the best.
Absolutely.
Their father was the best, not the best, but the first black quarterback at SMU.
Wow.
Their mom ran track at Tech, so they were they kind of had a great genetic
for sure.
Upbringing, and so when I think of private school football, man, golly, that's a long.
Especially
deep,
the teams you've played.
A long, deep list.
Your SBC days, you faced that. How many of those Episcopal teams with all those cats?
Oh my gosh, Jalen Waddle.
Right. Wilson, Marvin.
On one team, Marvin Wilson, Jalen Waddle, and the old lineman that went to Stanford.
Little.
And unbelievable team.
Holy cow!
Now we beat them twice that year.
Yeah,
right.
I know,
That was a team that you just step back and go, holy cow. I had Foster Sawyer's group.
Yeah.
They came through for us.
That year was.
We had 17 seniors. All 17 went to play college football.
That was
Demetrius Knox, Foster Sawyer, Daniel Gresham, Kendall Adams.
Kendall Adams
coaching for us.
Yep. Is he now coaching for you?
Yeah, he's been with us for 2 years.
Huh.
And so, Jalen Robinson.
Yes,
played for us,
dude.
J Flash.
Okay, I want a story. I think this is true, and you'll find a kick out of this. YMCA ball, because he was class of 19, I believe, right? Yes, or class of 18, 19. He played YMCA ball, I think, for the Pascal team at that time, right? and it was at SES. That was
Okay.
when it was at that
Yep.
SES years, right? And I was offensive lineman, of course, back in the day, and we ran a fumble rooski. It was like my 5th grade year. The only time for me to shine, of course, right?
Did he chase you down?
Yes. Do you know this other side of the story?
I don't.
So I ran a fumble rooski, and I had clear as day green in front of me for a good. I was probably we started at the 25. I got to like the 45 on the opposite side. I thought I was
gone.
I was gone.
Here I go.
And then I looked to my left, and there's a guy in purple.
Here he comes.
And he just ran me down. And this is, of course, me, offensive lineman, not knowing how to carry a ball. He just grabs it from me. I didn't even fight because I didn't know what I was doing.
What am I doing here?
Right. And he just grabs it and he runs it back to like the opposite 20.
The other way.
And so I didn't know ever who that kid was until probably in high school days. I told the story to one of my friends that went to Pascal for a while, and he said, I think that's him. And now looking back at it, I would not be surprised if that was Jalen Robinson.
I will tell you this. Out of all the kids I've coached, when you talk about route running,
Oh, my goodness.
I don't know if I've ever had a better route runner than Jalen, but he worked on that 7 days a week, even during the season. You know, he committed to OU, played there for a year. He called and he goes, Coach, everybody's a 5-star.
Yeah.
I need to get somewhere where I can.
And when
when
he went to UCF, man,
UCF, war number 1, killed it.
He killed it.
Called us. Honestly, the timing was perfect for him. I hadn't thought about this, but right when we started the NIL process, Jalen was coming out.
Yeah.
And he called me. He goes, Coach, I don't know what to do. I think maybe I'm being taken advantage of. Can I just send everybody to you? And he did. So we helped him manage his transfer through on the back end.
That's really cool.
And he made a little money on that too.
I mean, as he should.
And he trained at our place this year with APEC, and actually Jalen's coaching for us right now too.
That's really cool.
So, man, that for me, that's the fun
Having
of this.
guys,
they all come back.
I was gonna talk more fun questions, but I have to ask. The culture at All Saints has always been like you do your thing here, you go out and do it better even outside, and then you always have. Most schools, like, you know, you'll have your alumni nights where guys will come back and say, oh, yeah, I played here. But you have a different culture where a lot of guys want to come back and contribute to the program that they were in. How'd you do it, I guess?
I'm going to tell you how I did it and you'll agree with this on how you came out of your program. So my high school football coach, Tim Edwards.
Yes.
And Mike Chabet and Bob Briscoe and on and on and on, all these great guys. Actually, the head football coach at LDBL right now, his dad was a position coach back when I was in school. Tim Edwards, Mike Chabet made it a purpose to stay in my life.
Yeah.
And so they kept that connective tissue going. And when I was a young man in college, coming out of college for the first 10 years, it was real comforting when I would come home. I'd go up to high school wearing the same helmet I wore, wearing the same shirt I wore. And so I don't know how to do it any different. I think those of us that get into this full time, you coach more how you were coached in high school than college.
Yeah,
college
absolutely.
is transactional.
Right.
High school is relational. And so, you know, I feel the most comfortable around guys that I coach.
Yeah.
Because it's not a very loyal business.
No, it is not.
And so, you know, for me, I've got one guy on my staff that didn't play for me.
Right.
That I didn't know, but another guy that did play for me knew him and vouched for me. That's how Josh Hoffield got in. I love Josh. It's like Josh did play for me. But, you know, and when I got to All Saints in 2007,
right,
I started succession planning for my retirement at that time. So when it's time for me to leave or segue into a different chapter, then the next me will be there.
Yeah,
right? The school won't have to go out. And that's the way you keep it going.
Absolutely. And a couple other fun ones. What's your favorite, like, pregame day meal? Like, what is that on Friday nights before the game? What do you have?
This is not a flex.
Oh, talk to me.
We have a school chef.
Oh,
buddy, we are so spoiled. And
look at that.
And so we use. Okay, now listen.
Yeah, talk to me.
I grew up in Hearst.
Ooh.
I'm blue collar day, right?
Yeah, shout out Hearst.
It's been a blast for me taking independent school kids to Luby's over the years.
We had another coach talk about Luby's. Luby's was
Luby's
awesome.
Is our place. Unfortunately, there aren't very many Luby's
No,
left.
there is not. It's very sad.
And so being spoiled with that school chef, man, Syed lays it out for us. And so we eat. When we can, we eat at the Union. If we're playing in Dallas,
yes,
we eat at Luby's on Beltline.
There you go. All right, a couple others. Okay, question. we're gonna take a typical, like, he played high school football, just normal guy. He played high school football, but no college or anything, right? So he's just normal dude. Do you think he could get 1 yard in the NFL as a running back? Like, normal dude.
One dude that didn't play college football.
NFL offensive lines, defensive lines, they're battling out. Do you think a normal guy could get 1 yard in the NFL?
I know a guy.
Okay.
I know a guy. And so when you come visit All Saints, and I'm going to say two guys.
Okay.
When you come visit All Saints and you've been to our campus,
Yes.
you come in, you pass the tennis courts.
Yes.
The baseball field is
Right.
Corbett Field.
Okay.
The Corbett family is the family that brought the Texas Rangers to Texas.
Okay.
So Brad Corbett Sr. owned the Rangers for a long time. Brad Corbett Jr., when I got to All Saints, and Big Brad was still alive at that time, God rest his soul, but Brad Jr.'s two boys, Ford and Corbett, you can imagine the means if your parents owned the Rangers, right? Well, Brad Jr., Ford, and Corbett played Pee Wee sports over in the Stop 6 area of Fort Worth.
Wow.
So Brad wouldn't let them play West Side Little League.
Interesting.
And do all that thing. He put them in the inner city.
Wow.
These two motor scooters were a different level of tough.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Both of them played running back for us.
Right.
Both of these guys, one now is at Conoco, the other one is training to be a Green Beret. Their undergrad was at University of Chicago and
Wow.
Rice. And those guys could get a yard.
There you go.
Their will could get a yard.
Absolutely.
Shout out to the Corbett guys.
Absolutely. And I want to say, okay, one last question, then we have one activity. Is if you were not a football coach, would there be another sport that you would love to coach? Or, like, what would you want to do as, like, differently? Like, what other job would you want to do? Or what other sport would you want to coach?
Okay, so I'm again, no flex. I've gotten to have my cake and eat it too, and here's how.
There you go.
My mom went to Pascal. My dad went to Trimble Tech.
Shout out
My
Fort
uncle
Worth.
went to Poly.
Wow.
All right.
Staying local.
I grew up 2 blocks from the Masonic Home Orphanage.
Gotcha.
My dad learned printing as a trade at Trimble Tech, started a printing company. I grew up in that industry.
Gotcha.
And so from Nolan Catholic to Trinity Valley to being the head football coach at ESD, I did all that part-time while running our family business.
Really?
When All Saints came and knocked on the door, I sold our business.
There you go.
All right. So I've had
You've had some experience in other things.
while coaching all the way through.
Gotcha.
From the time I came out of college. So I've had a really unbelievable journey. It's just been awesome. And that really, a lot of people, I think, in our head of school, pretty brave guy to make the head football coach the assistant head of school.
Yeah.
But and I think that was always a lot of, why'd they make the head football coach the assistant head of school?
I guess it's kind of worked out, right?
Buddy, it's all worked out.
I guess it has.
It's all worked out.
Absolutely. And I'll end it here. What we want every head coach or athletic AD to come do, I want you to draw your logo, your All Saints' logo on the board. Luckily for you, it's just
it's
an
a block S.
So
okay, now this is not. I thought you were going to let me draw a play, man. I already had the hot.
You can also draw a play.
I had the play,
but don't.
The play's going to look better than the block S, I think.
Absolutely, we can do both. How's that?
All right. Do I have to hold this?
No, I can hold it for you. You can draw the S. You see other, they have the whole Wildcat or Eagle or anything, but, All Saints got the S. That's pretty good.
Is that a 5 or an S? Does that work as the S?
What do you think?
Okay.
Yeah, we now see the play.
All right. Now,
So
this is one of my favorite all-time plays. A lot of people out of the Mike Leach, Franklin, Hal Mummy think Y cross is one of the better plays. This is one of my all-time. It's just Y shallow.
Okay. Yep.
So, I'm gonna walk you through. This is gonna take 2 minutes.
Brother,
right?
you can erase the S if you need to.
I'm gonna teach you this play as if you were playing quarterback for All Saints.
Okay.
XHYZ, 4 wide set, 1 back, single back. Okay. If you can learn that, we're gonna teach you. All right.
Okay. Shout out Waverly intern.
Waverly, you're
intern.
our quarterback. Okay. So the first thing you're gonna learn, we're not even gonna look at the play or think about the play. You're gonna learn this: hot, shallow, dig, shoot. Hot, shallow, dig, shoot. Hot, shallow, dig, shoot. Can you say it? Now, what you just learned is the read progression for 90 Y shallow. No matter how we line up Waverly, that read progression is going to be what? Hot, shallow, dig, shoot. So during the course of a school day, if you were my quarterback coming in, a young one, if I walked by you in the hallway, I would say, Y shallow. And you would your job would be dig, shoot. Hot, shallow, dig, shoot.
Okay.
So Waverly, what we're going to do is, as the QB, we're going to come up to the ball, we're going to look out, and if we're getting pressed on the X or the Z, which if corners are coming up to push us, then we're going to just take that as we're going yard. We're going deep, right? So you got a pre-snap read, Waverly. If you're getting pressed, you're going deep. Right here.
Yep.
Okay? That's us going deep. Now that block S just means that's the 50-yard line at all saints, right? And so now what's the first word of our read progression? Hot. Okay, here's what you look for. This in Y shallow, shallow's coming from here. Your hot read, your first read, you're responsible for the blitz coming off the edge because we can't pick it up. So if we're getting blitzed off the edge, this guy's just going to turn around here and throw him the ball. Hot. Okay? If we don't get hot, this guy's going to run a dig. Now, what's after hot? Shallow, all right? And that's the concept of the play we're running, Y shallow. The Y is going to run off the heels of the defensive lineman right here, right? If you're going to throw it to the Y, you're going to hit him right here in the tackle box, and then he's going to run to the numbers and cover up. What's the next read in the progression? Dig. Hot, shallow, dig, shoot. So you didn't like the shallow because it got collapsed. And remember, this guy's running the dig, so that's what we're going to look for. And then what's the last read in the progression? Shoot to the F. Okay? 90 Y shallow. You can run that out of ace. You can run out of empty. You can run out of trips. You can play a whole 7-on-7 tournament and never come out of this play. Greatest air raid play there is. All right.
And that's how we end it. Thank you, Coach.
Guys, appreciate you.
Absolutely.